Hurry up, 5 minutes.
5 minutos. Esta noche es muy caliente.
Hey, download your Chai app today so you can have Chinese spyware in your house for free. Yay, Chai spyware. Woo! China down! USA number 2, you go down! Give me money.
Fucking future!
We're talking about a fat ass and everything, yeah.
Future!
We're talking about a fat ass and everything,
Like I
yeah.
took a poop and it was one of those painful ones that brings a tear to your eye. It's like I took a poop and it was one of those painful ones that brings a tear to your eye.
Oh my god, where did I put my creek water? Ah, there she is. There's my creek water. Found it.
Hello, motherfucker.
Yeah. Isn't that a dirty bass solo? It's not a solo, but you know. Woo! I gotta decide what cup I'm gonna drink out of. Maybe we'll have one on the stream that you guys haven't seen before. Maybe. Ugh. Here I is. Did you guys miss me? Huh? Tonight, we're having ourselves a little bit of Greek water. American whiskey. Look, the label's even crooked. Maybe they're sampling their own supply. Government warning. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. Right? I was like, that's the one warning label my motorcycle didn't come with. Warning may result in unwanted pregnancies. Creek water. True story. Guys, we put a pretty good dent in the book. We're on the tail end of it right here. I think maybe one more week we'll have this done, depending on how much of a crack we put into it tonight. We'll see. Just waiting for a couple more people to filter in before I start this shoe. Get this shoe on the road. Ugh. How's my hair looking? Is it alright? I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. Look at that, I took my hat off, it's already starting to fall. And then? I don't know, I honestly couldn't tell you. Chapter 11. The first 4 chapters were 22 pages each. I noticed that because when we finished chapter 4, we were at page 88, and then I looked back, and each chapter was exactly 22 pages. He left that format later on, but it was kind of CBO of him to do that. I guess he couldn't keep the pace. Some stories took a little longer than 22 pages, and some took slightly less, but not by much. Mr. Kennedy, if you're watching, I much respect, bro. Somebody get Tim Kennedy on here. I need his blessing. If he told me I couldn't do it anymore, I'd probably still do it. What's he gonna do, beat me up? He might. He's totally capable of doing it. I got slow hands. He trained with fucking Chuck Liddell. He was his damn... Whew, back when Chuck was in his prime. Say what you want about the man. Oh, he couldn't beat Rampage Jackson. That's because that man's a cheat. Can't start off books of bourbon without the bourbon. So let's have ourselves a little sippy sip. Let's see if it's as good as I remember it when we were over in Gatlinburg. Oh. It is not as good as I remember it. It's okay. That's when I was starting my quest with bourbon. And or whiskey. Oh. Hey, what up, attention seeker? Oh. Maybe another little sip and we'll get the show going. That's a good burn right there. It's not a pleasant one. It's a good one. No, this one's just for you there. Attention seeker. Hope you've been well. Chapter 11. Time to fight. As I fly home from Afghanistan, the UFC Fight for the Troops 2 Fort Bragg is happening in my own backyard. The event is taking place on December 10, 2008. I land early December 11th. I was offered a fight, which would have been my first UFC card. The UFC's matchmaker reached out to Greg Thompson, the owner of Team ROC, where we all train MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. Greg immediately reached out to my senior sergeant, Alex Ortiz, to see if we could work something out. Ortiz, excited for me, asked if I wanted him to do some drug deals so I can get back early for the event. I told them I would happily fight if I was back in time, but that the mission overseas comes first. Even though this would have been a huge opportunity for Greg Thompson's program to be featured in the UFC, he respected my decision. And I will always appreciate that about him. At first it looked like I was going to return in time to fight, which would have been super. However, I was in Afghanistan, and I had asked Sergeant Major Flaherty to keep finding missions for me until I had to go home. He came through, and I kept doing them. I missed the window for the fight. It looked like I was going to be at least be home in time to be a guest of UFC President Dana White at the event and maybe even speak or introduce the last fight. That would have been cool because Ranger Up is throwing the only after party for the event at Husk Hardware, a great downtown bar and restaurant owned by a former operator. I've now joined Ranger Up as an owner, along with Nick, a couple 75th Ranger Regiment guys named Tom Amenta and John Tackett, a former 1st Special Operations Group chemical officer named Kelly Krieger. The guys from OTA 782, the unit I was supporting in Afghanistan, got back just in time to make the fight and the after party. And between their texts and the texts from the Ranger Up team, I have a pretty good idea of the crazy good time that I had missed. Apparently the after party was so good that even Brock Lesnar showed up. Nice. I'm happy for everyone, but I don't regret missing any of it. Sure, it would have been cool, but I was able to go on one more mission with the Czechs, and it was worth it. It might surprise some, but as I hated leaving Iraq, I really hated leaving Afghanistan. I definitely didn't want to leave before the Czechs left. I owe them. But the Army doesn't care what I want any more than the Czech Army cares what they want. The trip back is very different than the trip over. On the way to Afghanistan, we stopped in Germany for a couple days. On the way back to the US, there is no stop, only a brief refueling in Ireland. There is normally a week or two period where you stay in country and do not do any missions, so you can come back to normal a little bit mentally before heading home. Because it's just me, no one planned for that. I did my last mission 12 hours ago. Whew. When I get off the plane at Fort Bragg, Ginger is waiting for me. She is beautiful, and I get hit with how much I love her and how much I've missed her. My eyes well up, which is not how I am built. She walks up and gives me a kiss. I drop my shit on the tarmac so I can wrap my arms around her. This is the woman who drove the 5 hours from Fort Bragg to Fort Benning while I was at Ranger School to share my 4-hour break with me and hand-deliver my dad's famous post-Thanksgiving turkey sandwiches. This is the woman who gives me instant, intentional love. She is my anchor and my whole world. I squeeze her a little too long, and she studies my face. "Are you okay?" she asks. "Yes," I lie. It was just a tough trip. I spend most of the day with Ginger, but I have a lot of friends who are here to see me too, so I jet out to link up with some of the guys that are here for the UFC fights and are still here waking up hotels and shit after a late night partying at Husk Hardware. The plan is just a quick, "Hey, what's going on?" because I've been gone for too long from my wife, and if I know the Army, I will be somewhere else before I've even had a chance to breathe. I pull into the parking lot of their hotel and meet the guys in the lobby. Mike G plus a couple other guys from OTA 782 are there, plus Ranger Up's COO Tom Amenta, Rob Halford, who is a friend of Nick Palmiciano's and Nick. I'm happy to see Rob isn't carrying a guitar. He's a super nice guy, but it seems like every time I meet him, he starts strumming an instrument like he's opening up at Coachella, and I'm not up for that right now. Tom, on the other hand, always retains his largest noise-making device, his mouth, and he jumps right in with, "Bro, you look like shit." I felt the same way after I got back from Afghanistan. "Did I ever tell you about that time?" Tom keeps talking, but I no longer hear the words he is saying. Tom is a machine, a workaholic, tough as nails. He's also a 5'6" Italian guy from Chicago with two deployments with the Rangers who absolutely loves CrossFit and music bands no one has ever heard of. He's genetically predisposed to talk. It's not his fault. The only way it could be worse if he was vegan or a Marine. What's up, Sirens? We all grab cappuccinos, yes, cappuccinos, and shoot the shit for a while. I hear all the stories from the night before. Dale Hart, our sponsored fighter, won when his opponent broke his leg kicking him. It sounded like someone snapped a baseball bat. The whole place apparently went silent. Rob, who was exceedingly drunk that night, apparently challenged Lesnar, tongue-in-cheek, to a fight after Lesnar knocked a plate of chicken wings on him. When Rob asked, "Do you want a piece of me?" Lesnar, thankfully for Rob, replied, "No, sir, I do not." The stories are funny, and I can tell they are happy to see me. But the moment is weird. This is the first time in my worlds have come face to face. It's always been my fight world and my military world. Sitting with components of both at the table feels like I've crossed the Rubicon, and I do not think I will be able to go back, for better or for worse. My brain is still in mission mode, and I start to get uncomfortable just sitting here. After what feels like an appropriate amount of time, I excuse myself. I need to get going, guys. Gotta get back to Ginger. I'll walk you out, man, Nick says. Sounds good. When we get close to my car, Nick jumps in with what I like to call officer shit. That's a very good question. You should be watching it now if you're a subscriber. I don't know, but I'll wait. Let me know when you're in so I can keep on reading. In the meantime, let me have another sip. That's the way we do it in the clink. Ooh-wee! This crick water gonna fuck me up. Oh! 8 months! Good enough for a preemie! Woo! Ha ha! Text message! Woo!
Hello, motherfucker.
Well, hello to you too, Sea Lark. Well, I'm glad you made it to the fucking party. Welcome to the party, Richter! Anyways. Let's get back to the show. You back? I guess it did. Yeah, I didn't... Wait, did you subscribe with Prime, or did you do a regular subscription? Because the regular subscription auto-renews that I know of, it's Prime that you have to manually resubscribe with. But it's funny, even on my most popular night, which is tonight, Books and Bourbon, I actually usually have more subscribers than I have active viewers. Sad. Yes, you have to manually resubscribe. Guess who's back? Back again. Adam Sandler's back, baby! Hey man, your buddies got pretty ripped last night. They came to the party and told me that they just deployed with you and that you were some kind of superhuman on this trip. Mike said you stepped out of a car just as it got blown up, killing 3 Afghans, and then, pissed off, you sprinted into some building and killed everyone inside. Basically, they said you should be dead, but for that some reason you just kept on not dying. Sounds really fucking intense. You good? Need to talk? Oh no. I'm not worried about sirens. You know what? It's fine either way as long as you're here. I appreciate you and thank you so much. I vaguely remember what he's talking about. That event had not popped back into memory until this moment. I'm not sure it went down quite as heroically as my Oda buddies remember it. Kind of insane that so much happened that even something like that is foggy. Nah, man, I'm good. Thanks for asking, I reply. The truth is, I do need to talk, but not to him. We're not there yet. I park my car a few blocks from my house, and I call my team phone. Alex Ortiz and Sean McClure are there. I dump it all on them. I shot a lot of people. I hurt women and children. I got shrapnel in my neck. I got blown up several times. We lost a lot of guys. I should have been one of them. What's the point of all this? Are we making more terrorists? Are we winning? Is it worth it? That's some heavy shit, dude. They listen to it all with no judgment. Then they tell me that they know I went through a lot, and they are super proud of me. You couldn't have come home right away when you lost your partner. You didn't. You went through hell on that mission and could have flown back instead of fighting back. You didn't. When you were mission complete, you were wounded and could have come home. You didn't. You asked for more missions and stayed there until they made you leave, even though it meant missing the fights last night, which I have to tell you, were awesome. You're a dick, I laugh. You did good, Tim. You represented us well. Feel good about it, Alice continues. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I know this sounds weird, but I don't know if it's good for me to just sit around right now. I'm going stir crazy and it's kind of eating me up, thinking about everything that just happened, I say, waiting to be made fun of or something, but not. Well, good news, buddy. When you come in tomorrow, there's a new mission. We're going to leave in a couple days. Nothing hard, but it'll keep you busy. What? I asked, not believing that they were deploying me again already. Ginger is not going to be happy, and I'm afraid of an unhappy Ginger even more than the mission. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Call us again if you need it, Alex says. I thank him and hang up. One of the things I will never get over about this job is how quickly the scenery changes. 96 hours ago, I was leaving the Afghan desert, and here I am in the Caribbean nation of Trinidad and Tobago as ADVON for a pre-deployment site survey for the Secret Service under the auspices of a JSET, Joint Combined Exchange Training. President Obama will be speaking here in 2 weeks, and we need to ensure security is in place before he arrives. It's a testament to the flexibility and the ability of Green Berets that we can go from a non-permissive war zone like Afghanistan and immediately transition to the sophisticated, nuanced world of foreign international defense, FID. Our mission is to assess the reliability of the police and military and the extent of the organized crime to determine if they pose a credible threat to the president. As expected, Ginger is not happy that I am here, but I am. I won't go as far to say as I was falling apart back home, but I'm not a sit around with my thoughts kind of guy. I wish I was. I respect people that can do that and derive a good outcome. I need to do shit. I need to sweat. I need to put my mind to a good purpose, and protecting the President of the United States definitely checks that box. I keep looking around for my rifle and remind myself it is not here. I feel naked without it. It was my lifeline for the better part of the last year, and now it sits lifeless in our armory back home. I check the pistol under my jacket, mentally run through, drawing it. To be fair, doing so is like breathing for me. The chances I will need to do so on this tropical paradise are close to zero, but complacency has killed better men than me. The first part of our mission is to train the local police and military to secure the area properly and protect the president, while simultaneously assessing them for threats. The second part of our mission is to assess the underworld here and see what level of dirtiness we have going on. To that end, one of the first things we do is hire a bunch of prostitutes. We drive around the city, and it doesn't take long before we find 3 girls that fit the bill. They're happy to come with Americans because they know we will pay more, but they're very surprised we don't want to have sex with them. We tell them we just want beautiful ladies as company for a while. What they don't know is part of our team is tailing their pimp. We keep them with us for a while, and then we overpay them by thousands of dollars for their time. Our tail watches them cough up the fortune to the pimp. Now he has way more money than he is allowed to carry. If he's more shady than afraid, he'll keep most of it for himself. If he's more afraid than shady, he'll bring it to his big boss. He's not dumb, so immediately starts cutting through the city to meet with his boss. Follow him there. A dumber person would keep the money and just pay the boss the expected amount. But when you're talking 3 girls in a city that has eyes everywhere, the chances of that story not getting back to him are slim. He goes in, drops off the money, and heads back to his streets. Now we know the main hub for all illicit activity in this city. You see, bad people tend to do most of the bad things. Go figure, huh? If someone is comfortable running drugs, they're probably comfortable running guns, and they're probably comfortable running girls and boys. You can put those 3 in any order, but chances are, if you can sleep at night doing one of those for profit, you can sleep well with any of them. And then it comes to a matter of the optimal mix for the optimal profit. We set up shop nearby and watch these guys for days, developing target packages on all of them, checking their accounts for deposits that might point to a problem for the president or anything else that might be of interest. As you can imagine, in a place like this, the police cross paths with these guys almost as much as the pimps and the dealers do. There's a ton of corruption, but no real threat. These guys are small-timers who want to make money the lazy and evil way, not zealots willing to trade the opportunity to hurt America for the consequence of having guys like me kicking in the doors in the middle of the night. Nevertheless, our assessment isn't the final assessment. We map the entire city for the Secret Service and identify every cafe that becomes a brothel at night. Every legitimate business they can safely take the president to, and every illegitimate business that might either pose a threat or place the president in a potentially embarrassing situation. We also build a brief on the level of security this government can provide and what we believe they will do what we need to do in order to get that security up to our standard. Finally, we learned that Carnival in the Caribbean is fucking amazing. The whole exercise rehabilitated me in a way that sitting around Fort Bragg and hashing out my feelings never could. By the time we're about to head back to the United States, my head is back. Leo has a fight for me. It's going to be June 16, 2009 against Nick the Goat Thompson in Strikeforce. In the fight game, there is always a fighter and an opponent. If you don't know which one you are the opponent. I know exactly who I am. Nick Thompson is a stud in every sense of the word. He wrestled in college, trains with UFC champ Sean Shirk, and Josh Barnett and the future UFC champ Brock Lesnar, who has only lost twice in the last 24 fights. He lost once to Caro Parisian in UFC 59 about 3 years ago, and to my good friend Jake Shields, who pulled me into the godforsaken sport in the first place by tapping me back at Terry and Barry's place for the Elite XC Championship. As if Nick Thompson wasn't busy enough, he also put himself through law school while fighting, which I respect tremendously. So I'm gonna fucking break your face and study for the bar. That's not what he sounds like, but to me right now, that's what he sounds like. Oh, lawyers are a special level of fucking scum, no matter how good their heart is. Yeah, right. Ooh-wee! You know that smell when you there's electric shit burning? That's what this tastes like. It's I don't know why I liked this the first time I had it. I guess I won't be having this again. But you know what? It's fine. Penis. I've never had an opportunity like this. Plus it's Strikeforce, which has a partnership with Showtime, so my fight is going to be broadcast live on Showtime! It's a huge moment for me against an elite opponent. Oh shit, it's Beanie! It will be his 50th fight. How are you still awake, child? Oh. Well, only about 5 years ago have passed. Jesus Christ, learn how to read. Well, only about 5 years have passed since I trained with Chuck Liddell. A lot has changed in MMA. Gone are the days of rinky-dink gyms and tough guy rooms. Now there's an emergence of real fight houses, Jackson's MMA, aka American Top Team, Team Quest, etc. There's money in fighting now, and the best gyms get 10% of the fighter's purse. I'm still in the Army, and there's no fight house in North Carolina. Instead, I have a bunch of my friends, a bunch of tough-as-nails Army or Army-adjacent guys who want the best for me. Greg Thompson runs the Special Operations Fight House. He's a Gracie black belt and the owner of Team Rock. Brandon Garner is a human bulldog in every sense of the word. He's like 5'5" or 5'6", but 170 pounds of solid muscle. Even at his size, he is by far the toughest test for my grappling. Brandon also has the highest fight IQ of this group and has a low-key coaching style that works for me. Because of that, I like having him in my corner. Jason Palacios is a two-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion and a civilian contractor. He's a 170-pound Polynesian dude from Guam who's really fun to move around with. My best kickboxing instruction comes from Aitor Spencer Canup. Aitor is a very skilled purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu as well, but his striking skill is invaluable. He spends a lot of time helping me clean up some of the bad habits I developed from 5 years away from the pit. Finally, there's Jeremiah Futch, who looks like a Greek god and won the world championships in Olympic lifting. He's a pro fighter and kickboxer. That's quite a camp you got running there, dude. It's a great group of guys, and I love them. They all go out for me every single time, but as skilled and tough as they are, I know, and they know, that this is not an elite camp for a guy my size with my skill. These guys can make me work, but they can't really put me in a position to lose, at least not consistently. We train in the original ROC, Fayetteville. It has shitty blue wrestling mats taped together in a tiny cement building. Greg is too cheap to run the air conditioning, so not unlike my original time at SLO kickboxing back in California, it's always gross in there, with mats so wet with sweat they're like a slip and slide. Oh. Greg breaks down his hot box of a gym into 3 areas. 1 corner is for takedowns, 1 is for grappling, and 1 is for rounds with me, for me before my fights. I know you're wondering what the 4th corner is, so I'll tell you. It's the entrance. We leave a little room for people warming up and walking in. If it sounds like I'm talking down this team and this place, I am not. Of all the camps I've been in my life, this one is my favorite. They aren't fighters with fighter problems and fighter drama and fighter stupidity. They are men. They are what boys should aspire to be. They have real jobs and real commitments, and yet they, in their spare time, are genuine high-level professional fighters. They want the best for themselves and for me, and they are selfless. When I first started training here, after leaving the pit, I was a little bummed. I missed Chuck and Gan and Jake and the crew, but after a couple combat tours and a little perspective, maybe these guys have taught me more about what living a good life means than anything I could learn from elite guys on the mat or in the cage. I'm proud they've accepted me as one of their own. Beanie, I picked this mug just for you. I just want to let you know. That's the way we talk in the clink. That's just the way we talk in the clink. Oh yeah, boy. I've never watched The Office, but, you know, I've seen bits and pieces on shorts and so on and so forth. It seems like it's an amusing show. Maybe I'll get to it one day. One day. Prison Mike! Whew. So tonight we are having ourselves some Creek water. Even the label is fucking crooked. Look at the crooked label. American whiskey. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it was a mistake, but whatever. Whew. It's like drinking a burnout made of fire. Fire, fire.
Hello, motherfucker.
What up, kick a cook? Ah. My slight emotional growth doesn't mean I'm not still an asshole. The Dementors, right? When Greg Thompson tells me he is going to give me a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I say no. It isn't that I don't want one, it's just that jiu-jitsu people get weird about belts. For many people, it's like claiming someone. So if I'm a hoist black belt, it might not be okay for me to train at a Machado gym. If I'm a Machado guy, it might not be okay for me to train at 10th Planet. And I'm not about that life. After all, what the fuck do I care about the color of a belt? I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Man. I'm digging your style, Timmy. I'm just saying, I'm liking your personality and your writing much more than I enjoyed Matt Best. Thank you for my service. I'd like to meet both of them someday, but for now, penis. Gonna have to hold my own. Greg is not happy. Well, you have to start wearing a belt. And it's not appropriate for you to wear a white belt or even a brown belt and just be in here smoking all of our black belts. I understand, I tell him. He nods, believing this heart-to-heart has solved everything. After practice, I head to Walgreens. The next day I show up at practice wearing a pink belt. I train with this belt the entire time I'm at Team ROC. I arrive in Kent, Washington, the location of Strikeforce Challengers 2. With me I have Brandon Gardner and I want to say Nikki P because Paul Messiano, that's a tough name. And I'm not even sure I'm saying it right, but, you know, I'm not Italian, forget about it, eh? Baffanculo. I'm meeting Andrew Chappelle, a former combatives instructor who is now in the reserves there. Andy was Damian Stelly's, the dude I beat in my second All-Army Combatives Championship, principal sparring partner. Both trained under Matt Larson, a former Army Ranger who is widely considered the godfather of modern Army combatives. Matt made a couple of monsters of these guys. Both are having impressive professional careers of their own, winning big fights in Bellator. Andy is a beast, but he's also a beast that I trust, which is critical. A lot of times elite fighters make terrible sparring partners before fights because they want to win. You have to lose if you're in that role, and you have to prioritize the fighter's safety over your own. It's very selfless. Elite fighters tend not to be selfless. Andy, a Ranger qualified infantryman and non-commissioned officer, put the team first. Strikeforce is the dream world I have always wanted. While the IFL fights were on national television, the behind the scenes was every bit as shitty as every fight I'd ever been to. Scott Coker's Strikeforce was different. When we get off the plane, there's a man with a professional sign that says Tim Kennedy Strikeforce. He and his assistant grab our bags and lead us to a black Suburban. It's not quite a limo, but it will do. He brings us to a nice hotel. My corners all get nice rooms with double beds, and I get a suite. I am immediately given a schedule and a person to call 24/7 if I need anything. Brandon links up with them to ask about workout areas. They have the workout room for my corner, so that my opponent is never in the room with me. Already available, and they give us passes to local gyms that have saunas. This is an organization that cares about fighters. This is also the first time I've done real press. It's hard going from, "Hey shitbird, what the fuck are you doing in the army?" to, "Right this way, Mr. Kennedy, at Strikeforce. Do I belong here? Am I a fraud?" There are champagne pyramids at press events. There are multiple stations set up for different interviews. The fighter stays in place, but the press rotates. There's an individual video and photo shoot. The whole thing is surreal. This is the first time I get a glimpse of what Chuck's life was really like all those years ago. Now older, it makes me appreciate a little more that he actually gave me a lot more of his valuable time than I thought back then. I'm an opponent on a small Strikeforce card. He was the UFC champ. But as excited as I am to finally feel a taste of the big time, I'm not the same kid anymore either. War has changed me. At the top of my head, in every interview, at every dinner, in every workout is the thought, I have to make my Army brothers and sisters proud. No, he said and sisters. That's so nice of him. I just would have said brothers. But, you know. That's me because I'm definitely a sexist. Because I accept reality as a fact, not as a hateful opinion. I arrive at the big press event with that thought in mind, where we sit opposite each other and talk about the fight to come. I say nice things about Nick Thompson and talk about how it's an honor to be fighting on Strikeforce. He does something different. He tells the press I haven't really earned my stripes enough to get in the cage with him. After all, he had just beaten Paul Daly, an absolute monster, and I hadn't fought in a year and a half, with my last fight against a tough fighter being a loss to Jason Miller. I think the worst part about prison is, you know, the exercise twice a day and access to a full library and internet and apparently cell phones these days, but it's all the sex. That's the worst part about prison. Whether you want it to or not, it's happening. Wait, what? No fornication jokes, no sodomy jokes, gross! Ooh, there goes the whiskey. Nice. As shit-talking goes, this isn't even that bad. In fact, objectively, he is completely right. I don't belong in the cage with him based on my record or credentials. But nice adult Tim Kennedy, who knows this is just a sport, disappears in those words. In this place, War Tim Kennedy, the guy that was just in gunfights for his life nonstop for months, arrives and he is not happy. He wants to fuck this guy up. He convinced himself this is personal. That night, working out with Andrew and Brandon and wrestling a little with Nick, I go hard, probably too hard. Brandon tells me a few times to chill out. I try to listen because Brandon is just as evil as I am on the mat. So I know if he is telling me I need to slow down. But I'm holding on to so much anger, I hit Andrew too hard a couple of times and he fires back a little. I'm happy about it. I want to step it up. Brandon steps between us and tells us both to settle down. Andrew apologizes and immediately takes it down a notch. He doesn't need to. This is my fault. I know he is a safe partner, so I know I must have cracked him. After my rounds are over, I sit on the side of the mats and watch the other guys train. Dave Caramillo, a legendary grappling coach from AKA, is training Luke Rockhold, an up-and-coming fighter in my weight class. He's very good, and I can tell he is dangerous, but I'm more impressed with the way Dave is coaching him. He's very different from other jiu-jitsu coaches because he doesn't come at it from a wrestling or jiu-jitsu mentality. He is a judoka or judo player. When he was young, he won all kinds of judo tournaments and was working his way toward an Olympic berth when he blew his knee out shortly after winning his first major tournament, the Canadian Open. He recovered, but the impact of judo on the knee was too much for him, so he switched to jiu-jitsu, where he received a black belt under Ralph Gracie. I'd watched him from a distance for a while, and I admired how his style was inclusive, not exclusive. A lot of coaches at the time argued wrestling over jiu-jitsu or their style of jiu-jitsu over another style. Dave absorbed. If one of his guys beat his game with wrestling, he became a wrestler and learned what he didn't know. I wish I had access to him and as much as to Nick and Brandon. Brandon, an elite purple belt, knows a little from some seminars. He says hi to break the ice. Dave instantly recognizes him and is happy to see him. Brandon then introduces Nick. Dave has a job to do, so they leave it to him. But when Luke is done working out, Nick starts talking judo with him. They know a lot of the same guys and did judo at the same time. Apparently back in the day, they were in the same weight class, at the same time, at the same level, but never competed against each other. They shared a small world that somehow never intersected, which they both found amusing. This is the first time I'd ever heard that Nick knew any judo. He told me he was a mediocre wrestler who loved MMA. I would find out later that he was a high school state medalist who was recruited at a couple of D1 programs and wrestled briefly at West Point before joining the Army judo team. I'm going to have to use him for more things. Anyway, I don't know exactly how it happened, but after Brandon and Nick shoot the shit with him for a while, Nick just throws out, "Dave, we were supposed to have another corner this weekend, but he had to stay home for personal reasons. I'm here more to manage issues than anything, so I feel like Tim is a corner down. I'm definitely not anywhere near your level. Is there any chance you could help us out and corner Tim?" "Absolutely. It would be an honor," he replies. Holy shit. Nick and Brandon just got me one of the best coaches on the planet. I would never have asked him myself. I would have been too embarrassed. Neither one of them would have asked Dave for themselves, but they did for me. And it's not lost on me. The weight cut was hard. I had to cut 40 pounds to make 185. And I had been at my Special Forces operator weight of 225 for this deployment. The last 15 really hurt, and I did that with the guys in the sauna. Nevertheless, they announced my name, and I realized for the first time that I am the co-main event. I looked back one last time at Brandon, Andrew, Nick, and Dave fucking Caramillo and grin. I've never felt better right before a fight. I walk out and a fog machine is blowing fog and people are cheering. I can smell the fog and wonder what chemical is in it. It's got that weird semi-sweet by semi-acrid smell to it that you only think about on Halloween. Am I inhaling some kind of carcinogen right now? I always have weird thoughts at this moment. I never think about the fight. We get to the edge of the cage and I strip down. I see my corners collecting all my sweaty clothes and my shoes. It seems like I'm watching them on television as opposed to them being here with me. The overhead lights are bright and there's a haze around me. Mostly I thought I'd just feel a little cold now that I'm shirtless in this air-conditioned arena. It's been a wild night of fights. Jorge Gergel just won a barn burner, and before that Sarah Kaufman beat Shayna Baszler in the first women's fight to go for five-minute rounds. That was kind of historic. Mouthpiece, the ref asked. I show him my teeth. Cup, he asked. I tap my cup. Okay, say goodbye to your corners. I hug all my corners and I climb into the cage. Shortly thereafter, Nick Thompson gets into the cage. He's huge. I'm usually a big 185-pounder, but he seems to tower over me. We'll be the same height on the ground. I try not to listen to analysts before a fight, mostly because this is the first time I've had analysts writing about one of my fights, but the majority, I think I need to keep this standing because the GOAT has an impressive ground game. We're all about to find out who has the better ground game. They announce us. The bell sounds. We touch gloves. I take him down easily. Just as easily as he rolls for a Kimura, a move where you trap a guy's wrist in a figure four, which threatens to break the shoulder. He's good at it, but I've been back here before. After 30 seconds of a positional battle, I get my arm back and am in control. I spend the whole first round trying to stay on top of him and hitting him every once in a while, and he spends it trying to get off the bottom. When the bell sounds to end the first round, I can tell he's frustrated and maybe a little tired. I feel fucking great. I get back to my corner and Brandon and Dave take turns speaking while Nick and Andrew stay quiet. It's best only to hear one or two voices. Dave tells me to watch the wrestling tight waist in order to stay away from the Kimura and take him down against the cage to the rear, where I will be able to keep him from an offensive position. Brandon also wants me to land some shots standing if I can, especially an overhand right masked as a shot. The second round bell sounds. As I said, he's very tall, and I don't want to get caught, so I'm tentative coming in, throwing a high kick and a few testing jabs. Then I see the opening Brandon wanted, and I fake the shot and throw an overhand right connecting. I push him in the cage, following that right, and I take him down to the rear, avoiding the Kimura opportunity for Thompson. Good corners fucking rock. Thompson keeps scrambling well, and this round looks a lot like the previous one, until about halfway through I start landing some shots. I know they hurt him. I feel him slowing. Finally I spin around behind him off a double-leg attempt from his knees, and I land a powerful shot on his ear that puts him on his belly. I keep throwing and I see him start tapping, and the ref pulls me off. Holy shit, I just made Nick Thompson tap to punches. Good for you, man. I pop up and see my corners going nuts. I look down to make sure Thompson is okay. He is. I just beat a real contender on the second largest stage on the planet. I'm now officially in the mix. Showtime brought my relationship with the Army to a head. Some of my upper echelon command sergeant majors and officers did not like the fact I was both a fighter and a member of an elite special operations unit. I plead with them to allow me to do both. They tell me I have to choose one or the other. Fucking Army, man. You do this every time. It's bullshit. Enter Mark Gross, an Army veteran and the owner of the government contracting firm Oak Grove Technologies, who pairs up with Nick Palmiciano to do an awesome presentation of my position to the Pentagon. I met Mark through Dave Caramillo and Bob Cook from AKA. He sponsored one of AKA's fighters that weren't assholes. Mark had an integrity clause, and he wants to help me through this situation. Nick is there because he's Nick. Up until this point, I had never seen the guy in anything but jeans and a t-shirt, but today he's wearing a custom suit, a West Point ring, and he's holding a Duke MBA pen. I make fun of him to Mark, but I also know he's playing the right game. We have to show that we're adults, not a bunch of Neanderthal fuckwits. I just... like... Tim cusses, but he doesn't cuss excessively. I know I do have the tendency to cuss excessively, but that's just how I vent and communicate. You know, instead of, sometimes it's in place of yelling, I just use a curse word to let you know that this was serious, and that's the exclamation point instead of just raising my voice. Sometimes I just raise my voice because I am a Neanderthal fuckwit. See how we circled back. I Jensaki the shit out of that one. Mark and Nick crush it. They essentially pitched me as a recruiting tool for the army. Mark is a master of government contracts and knows what buttons to push, and Nick is great with structure and talking in general. The answer has to be a yes. But it isn't. The Pentagon loves it, but my command has the final say, and they say no. I have to decide now between the only job I've ever loved and the chance to be a world champion. Kill all humans! Bender is quite possibly my favorite animated character of all time. Not all Homo sapiens. You gotta keep a small harem and security squad with their own personal harem, because I don't like sharing. I do give to the less fortunate, but that's when I'm done playing with my toys. Anyways, penis. Let's move on. Let's start my own theme park with blackjack and hookers. Right? Look, when he was first born, like the newborn pictures were like totally, oh hello, schnoop lice. She does have a tiny shrimp fried rice, tiny human at her. I refer to those as pink squishies. Usually for the first 3 to 6 months, depending on how fast they develop a personality. Until that point, to me, they're pink squishy. They're not Skylar or Micah or anything. They're just pink squishy. You're like, hey, pink squishy, how you doing? And they're just like, hey, slabber. Nah, you're pink squishy until you start developing a personality that's actually responsive. Anyways, let's carry on with the reading, shall we? Let's shall, because I feel like I've drunk a little bit too much too fast, and the words are starting to get blurry. As a matter of fact, let's see how many more pages in this chapter. Oh my god, too fucking many. Six more pages. Fuck. I might call a break before I finish this chapter. After my failed meeting at the Pentagon, I have 10 days to decide. I asked Mark and Nick what I should do. They both tell me some version of, I cannot make that decision for you. You're great at two things. You have to pick the one you love more. That's tough, man. I spent a couple more days talking to guys on my team. No one wants to tell me what to do. Some of them want me here. Some of them want me to win championships. Ginger would love for me to walk away from the military, but believes that it is such an integral part of who I am that the cost of leaving the military might be higher than the cost of staying in. But no one is giving me the key to make a decision I can live with. That's when I bump into my first senior, 18 Bravo, Ben Rios. I explain my conundrum. He thinks for a minute. You ever try to date a girl that doesn't like you, and you try to like her enough for the both of you, but because you just like her so fucking much? He asked me. Yeah, I respond. I'm not sure where he's going. If the Army loved you, they'd give you a way to make this work. They'd make you sign a longer contract. They'd outline recruiting things you had to do or deployments you have to take. Could you do what they are doing to one of your guys? Would you make someone you love choose? That's not love. That's envy. Are you going to let someone else's envy dictate your life? Meanwhile, how long can you be at peak performance? How long can you do this thing that you've been gifted, truly gifted, to do? He stops for a minute and lets me absorb the words. Like, I'm not saying that I'm a Nick, but I think that's the same advice I probably would have given him, if I were in those shoes and I was a trusted confidant. But I'm not, so, but that's pretty much what I'd say, because, for the longest time I had this biggest chip on my shoulder. I was like, fuck the Army. Anyways, I had bad command, so. Now, to be fair, just like through my entire life, I was never easy to work with, because Team Petty. I don't know what to say back. After pause, he starts again. Tim, you don't owe anybody here anything. Just get out there and become a champion. Do not love anything that doesn't love you back. We're all expendable. If you die on the next deployment, the Army will not mourn you. Only your friends and family will. As your friend, I'm telling you to prioritize what's best for you and your family. And I gotta say, I think that's fighting. The next day, I let my command know that I will not be re-enlisting. The same dickhead Sergeant Major started this whole problem is legitimately surprised. He tells me something along the lines of, this decision will ruin your life. I thank him for his comments, and I mean it. I made the right call. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Approximately 5 minutes. Thank you so much, everybody who's joined me and has stayed here with me. I appreciate you. I love you all. But penis. I'll be back in a little bit.
Here I come.
Hey! Now listen here, mister. I don't mean no trouble.
Go back into your own console.
But sir, I doesn't even have my own console. We're multi-platform now.
Knuckles?
It must be a Mario. He takes racing too seriously.
He takes everything too seriously.
You motherfuckers invite non-Nintendo characters onto my track?
Oh, what's it for racing?
Holy shit! He's killing all the non-Nintendo racers.
What is he? Some kind of racist?
You're not Nintendo. You're Pretendo. You're all race traitors! Ah! Oh my god! Ah! I'm fucking going to my head! Ah! 23 years of jumping barrels. 23 fucking years! Oh god! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Luigi!
Coming for you, nigga.
Wait, Mario, think of our history.
So, you like it to go fast, huh?
All right, I caught it. Now it's mine and I can force it to do whatever I want.
Mario, stop! We're brothers! I have no brother.
Mario!
Oh shit, it's Kratos! Fuck you, Kratos! You PlayStation characters never learn! Suck my mouth! mushroom pimp! You fucking son of a bitch! Oh, hey Mario!
Flash kids.
I'm sorry, boy. Oh, come on. Don't do the dance. Don't make this harder than it has to be.
Man, I just love noodles.
Not as much as me, dude. Not as much as me.
Oh yeah? I bet I love them even more.
Okay then, how much do you love noodles?
This much. And I will always love noodles. Yeah, I'll always love noodles. Yeah, I'll always love So how much do you love noodles? Oh my God!
Oh, waffles. Well, you know, I figured if you can watch that Flash Gets Short, you'll know what this channel's about. And I believe that short encapsulates, you know, domestic abuse, racism, child abuse, and all these other things. Now, these things are all horrible, but if you can't joke about the most horrible things, then maybe you're taking shit a little too seriously and you have no sense of humor. Maybe that's just me. So, a little bit of news about my family. My godmother, who was, she's basically my cousin, but first cousin, my dad's niece. Her mom and dad, my uncle and auntie, have passed away in the relatively same time period, 1 year apart from each other, and she's now selling the family house. And you know, it's just weird that, you know, I mean, this has been a part of the family since before I was born. So it's just weird to see that it's gonna be gone soon. I don't have the money to pay for it. I wish I did, but you know, and I'd still let her stay there and everything, but I get it. She wants to live her own life because, you know, she used them as an excuse or as a crutch not to live her own life. She's like, I gotta take care of him, blah, blah, blah. But it's weird. It's weird just seeing that something that's been part of the family since before I was born, now being up for sale. Oh, it kind of hurts my heart. When y'all want to buy a house for 4 million Hungarian forints, which by my estimation is about 100,000, you have a nice house in Budapest, set up like a duplex with a work shed, a large work shed, a basement, an attic, and an attic guest room, and 2 separate living units with 2 floors each. Huh? Anybody? Okay. Anyways. Ugh. Probably not, but that's okay. I made the right call. August 2010. 19th Special Forces Group out of Austin, Texas has been a dream come true. When I decided I was leaving the Army to focus on MMA, the commander of the 19th Special Forces Group reached out to me and asked me to come to them. I told him I wanted to keep fighting. He said, "I'm counting on it. You're going to be our #1 recruiter." And he was right. Turns out that the presentation that Mark and Nick had made worked out great. Just not for the Army, but for the Texas National Guard. My fight camp changed from Team Rock crew to a more MMA-centric crew in Texas. I mean, it's just a building, you know? I'm actually more shocked that I am as upset about it as I am, just broken up. I'm more upset about this than any loss this family has ever suffered, including the loss of my uncle and auntie due to complications from the vaccine. But, if I wasn't tied up with this place that I just bought in November, I probably would have offered to buy it. And just let her live there and just kept on renting. Because, if I could have... But see, to get the VA to sign off on that shit would have been near impossible. So, I probably couldn't have done it anyways. Just kept on living in the same fucking apartment, and... You know what? I needed a place of my own. I need to spread my wings too. Highness. It's okay. It's okay. It's a situation that's out of my control short of winning the fucking lottery. Now, if I win the fucking lottery, I will buy that house. Damn it. And I'll have me a summer home. But, man, I would gut it and redo everything. Modernize and just do the shit up out of it. Spiral staircases for everyone! Cheetah doesn't like it, but she's not welcome there. My fight camp changed from the Team ROC crew to a more MMA-centric crew in Texas. I have some great UFC fighters to train with in Yves Edwards and Kamal, Prince of Persia Shaloris. But I also have Gracie Humaida, a Royler Gracie affiliate under Paulo Coelho Brandao. I like this place. I'm not married to it yet, but Paolo is amazing, and I love that it isn't the bullshit, fall on your ass, and scoot underneath someone's flavor of jiu-jitsu. Everything taught here is with the intention to win a real fight. Plus, I'm not too far from guys like Andrew Craig, Dustin Poirier, and Mike Chandler, who I typically get together with every week or two. 2 other things made this move great. First, when I made the call to leave, Justin Lake, one of my 18 X-Ray brethren, made the same call. We literally drove here together in a truck. He was my strength and conditioning coach in North Carolina, and now he is my strength and conditioning coach here. He also started dating Ginger's sister, which is great because he is a great dude. Second, I met country and western star Shane Steiner. Shane is rad. His grandfather is in the Cowboy Hall of Fame for riding bulls. His dad is a champion bull rider. And even though Shane had the skill for it, as well as for football and track, he chased music. His career peaked in the early 2000s, and he decided to walk away from it all to get out of the party lifestyle and focus on business endeavors. Oh shit, that was totally tone deaf of me. Sorry, that was my that was the creek water talking. You meant sorry for my loss as far as my uncle and auntie. You didn't mean sorry for my loss as far as the building is concerned. That's the way I took it, because that's what was really affecting me. But thank you either way. I didn't know them that well. They were a big part of my young youth, but you know, the older I got, the less we talked, and so on and so forth. Basically, from like 8th grade on, I hardly ever heard from them or anything, so I don't know. I don't know if that's just the way I'm wired, or just like when they, each one of them died separately a year apart from each other, it just didn't affect me at all. It was just like, I should be sad, but I feel nothing. Maybe I'll just have a big breakdown, fucking meltdown in front of you guys one day, but yeah. We lost someone. Who fucking dipped out without saying goodbye? Refresh, guys. I'll refresh too. Let's all refresh our fucking damn feeds right quick. Please and thank you. Just back out and just hit the refresh and then just come right back. I'd appreciate it if you guys could do that for me. And if you can't, I understand that too. I'm a freak when it comes to workouts. That's always been the case. Because of that, now that I'm in a place where a lot of celebrities live, whether they're professional athletes, music stars, or actors, they show up to my workouts to see what they are really like. Because these visiting celebrities tend to be aesthetically fit, they assume they will be able to hang. They are so very wrong. And I love showing them over and over again. No one ever comes twice, except Shane. Because he's 8 years older than me, the motherfucker just keeps coming back. I love it. Do what? Just refresh the stream, because if you haven't commented in a while, for some reason the Twitch algorithm just decides that you're a bot and doesn't count you as a viewer. We lost somebody, and I don't know if we literally lost somebody, or if it's just like, people haven't been chatting enough. So just back out, close it out, and just refresh. You know, just hit the refresh button or swipe down. And you know, then click on it again. You might have to watch an ad if you're not a sub, but you know, would you do that for me? I'd appreciate it. Either way, it's fine. So on the note of people not coming back, back when I was working out like a freak at the gym, I would do my cardio, 1 hour, high intensity cardio. Sprint on, level out, sprint on, level out, sprint on, level on out for 1 full hour. There were people that would come in while I was doing cardio and leave while I was still doing cardio. I mean, it's Planet Fitness, so Planet Fatness. So I'm trying real hard not to judge, but keep coming to the same place. And if you're trying to maintain that, what the fuck are you doing here? Don't even go to a gym. You can maintain that by sitting on your ass and eating Doritos. Judgment free. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that gym. But I had a small clique, one female and one dude, and they stuck with me for about a year. And the chick, Beanie, I'm gonna brag on you a little bit. Back when she did show up for my ridiculous workout routine, the guys were doing some under the chest fucking damn flies on the cables. And I'm looking at the weight they got on there. I'm like, 50 pounds? And you doing it under? That you're not getting anything done with that, you know? I was like, this chick right here could probably do that. She'd been under my wing for about a year at that point. And they're like, yeah, right. I know that the cables during the first half of the pull is only about 30 pounds at 50. Right? Yeah, I'm talking shit. Good shit, though. Brittany banged out a full set of perfect form fucking flies, bringing it center chest, right? She's just bam, right? And she was struggling the last couple reps, like last 2-3 reps, but she did it. And these guys are all like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, this tiny freaking chick can do this shit, you're not doing enough. Alright? That was such a proud trainer moment for me, because you know what? I never asked anybody training with me to do anything that I wouldn't or couldn't do, but at the same time, you know, I was just like, do better. I expect more, because, you know, I can tell the difference between somebody just being a bitch and somebody bitching out. Right? That's two totally different things. They're like, it hurts. I'm like, it doesn't hurt. Alright? It's uncomfortable. But see, a lot of people confuse discomfort with physical pain. Me suffering from chronic pain since my early fucking 20s, being a disabled veteran, pain is my life. So I was just like, fuck it. Stop being so fucking fat. Let's go to the fucking gym. You know, what's the worst that's you're gonna hurt more? Ooh, big fucking deal. You know, I for a while, you know, I was fucking drinking every fucking day, on fucking pills. Okay, we're on books and bourbon. Let's not fucking worry about it. But you know what? When 115-pound fucking midget, 4'11" midget, 5'2", whatever, Brittany. When I can get this chick to do what these 200+ pound dudes are doing, with good form, you could have fucking set a T-square on her shoulders and, you know, Princess Funny Bones. That was such a proud fucking trainer moment. And I will be tearing up the floors to my guest room, and I'll be setting up my gym in there. I will not be doing the cardio as hardcore, but I do need to lift again because I do not like the shape of things. Sure, we got great trap shoulders and upper chest, but everything else is falling to shit, you know, and all that shit. But what? Brittany's 400 pounds? No, she's like 100 and... What are you right now, 105? Brittany's tiny. She ain't no 00 because she keeps all her rage in her pants, so she, you know, she got a little bit of donk on her, a little bit for a white girl, for a petite white girl. She got a little bit, but you know, not like dead ass, but you know. 1.8. Oh God, Brittany. But she eats right, so she just said she wasn't about that gym life. Once she started cutting out weekends and then weekdays, I knew it was over, and it made me sad because I lost my workout buddy, and I started working out less and less, and started doing way less cardio. And God, I just quit on myself. That was like 4, 5, almost 6 years worth of freaking damn hustle in the gym, and I was just like, fuck it. I quit before COVID shut down the gym, so it's not like I'm blaming COVID-19 and the shutdown of the country for a bad cold. But, you know, that's... I'm going to get back into it. I keep on saying this. I've been saying this. I bought a full gym about 2 years ago. Power rack, 400 pounds in Olympic plates, and all this shit. So, you know, I got a squat cage and a bench cage, and, you know, I can do dips and pull-ups in there, and I've done nothing! Fucking nothing! And so I've gone from 217 up to about like 305, 310, maybe 315 by now. I like food more than I like working out. What do you want from me? I can barely move when I first fucking wake up. Anybody who's known me for longer than a week or two knows that I've got mobility issues. Definitely have major flexibility issues and chronic pain. Well, they might not know about the chronic pain so much, but they know I move slow and but with purpose. And I don't really tell people I'm hurting. They can probably just see it by looking at me. But, you know, it's like anything else. Whether it's, you know, arthritis or lupus or whatever, you know. We all have got our own crosses to bear. And I don't bear mine well. I am lazier than I am willing to look good. Oh, and that old adage of, you know, you can't friggin' damn outwork a bad diet. They never saw my workouts. But on that note, let's get back to the book, shall we? I've lost another person since I asked for the refresh. Great. The great thing about having Shane and Justin here is, ever since the Strike Force fight started and the media exposure got bigger, everyone I meet wants something from me. I cannot really trust people anymore because right when I start to like them, they ask me for something. Tickets to a fight, an introduction to someone they want to meet, or money. Justin wants nothing from me except my sister-in-law. I don't know what that is, but maybe you can explain it to me in further detail while I continue to read. The problem with being skinny and small, though, is if you want to get bigger, like just more aesthetically pleasing, more muscle on your frame, it requires a lot going in. And if you've got pre-existing conditions that prevent you because of either nausea or just the inability, or even financial, it makes it tough. It makes it tough to get them gains. But, you know, nobody wants to look like a marathon runner, so we all got to set goals for ourselves. And you know, my usual spiel when I try to take somebody under my wing for training and shit is like, what is your goal? Do you want to become stronger? Do you want to become faster, more flexible, have more mobility? Do you want to just be more aesthetically pleasing? And 9 out of 10 times, most people just want to look fucking better. They just want to up their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their desirability and or sexual appeal. I mean, who doesn't want to look good naked in front of a mirror? Regardless of what people say, like, oh, I think that much muscle is disgusting. I'm like, if you didn't have to put in all that work and there was a button you could push to make it happen, would you? And if you say no, you're probably a fucking liar. See, I would love to do like a how-to workout program. Unfortunately, I don't want people thinking that I'm faking my disability or whatever to get a paycheck. Because trust me, by myself, what I make is plenty good. But honestly, I'd rather be working and making some serious fucking loot than, well, what other people perceive as sitting on my ass and doing fucking nothing. Collecting checks, you know, it's just like, these checks aren't that big, you know, they're bigger than EMS in North Carolina, I'll tell you that, but penis. Anyways, when he isn't serving in the 19th SF group, he's a contractor making more than I do fighting, and he's an old friend. He would have dumped me ages ago if he wanted to. With Shane, he's more famous and richer than I am, by a wide margin. He just wants to hang out. I know I sound like a bitch complaining about making money and being a little famous, but it gets really lonely when you can no longer make friends without wondering what they want. I still have my amazing friends, Nick and Brandon, but they live in North Carolina, so it's nice to have solid relationships close to my new home. In the last year, I've choked out Zach Cummings and Trevor Prangley, which has set up my biggest challenge to date. Jakari Souza for the Strikeforce Middleweight Championship on August 10, 2010. Jakari is an ADCC Abu Dhabi Combat Club champion, and he just won a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu super fight against Robert Drysdale. On paper, he is a better grappler than I am by far, and that's my strongest aspect of fighting. This is a huge fight. I try to pretend it isn't, but I can feel the pressure mounting. I want to be champion so badly. Even though this fight is in Houston, Texas, there are plenty of guys I can bring from my new home. I asked Brandon and Nick to corner me once again. I trust them both. Brandon has as much ring wisdom as anybody else outside of a handful of truly elite coaches, while Nick handles everything that is needed before I have to ask for it, and is good enough and big enough to warm me up before a fight. Plus, they like and trust each other. There are no egos or drama. They both want me to win. For this fight, I've also added a new guy to my corner, Jason Webster. Jason's older than everybody else in the corner by 10 to 15 years, but he was an elite kickboxer in his day, and he's an excellent trainer. He's also a guy that has been through some shit, so he maintains that calm element that I prefer in the corner. I don't need anyone yelling at me. I need information. Additionally, Andy Chappelle is coming out. He's not going to be in the corner because Strikeforce only allows 3. But he's going to be there to work with me for a couple days. The 2 other guys were supposed to come as well, but they bailed at the last minute. Now, speaking of workout buddies, right? He said that, no people ever came for a second workout, even though they were aesthetically fit and so on and so forth. My workouts, they're sheerly for reasons of vanity, but at the same time, I would push you. Tell him, Beanie. Tell him, Beanie. Tell him that I would push you. It wasn't about, just being there to go through the fucking motions. It was about pushing yourself to be better than you were last week. It was about pushing yourself to be better than you were the day before. But at the same time, did I not get you results, Brittany? Exactly. You can say what you want, but I believe I was firm but fair, but I got results as long as you put in the work. And oh yeah, Soren 7. The 6 was it? No, it was 10. Was it 10 or was it 7? I don't even remember. That ab workout was a good. I remember Tommy. I got Tommy to puke. I was just doing a general friggin' assessment of where he was at, because after about a couple years of me working out, he always opted out, but then he asked me if I could train him. 10 minutes. So 10 exercises, 45 seconds each, working your core, your obliques, and your hip flexors, alternating between exercises. You'd have approximately 10 to 15 seconds rest between each set for a straight 10 minutes. It was disgusting. I saw the anguish in your face, but you definitely did it the best of anybody I've ever trained. Good God, you killed it. You were hating me for every second of it, and you know what? Did it or did it not get results? You got results. Hell, you were starting to show results after about 2-3 months of working out with me, and you just kept on improving, and then out of nowhere you just fucking quit. Fucking quitter. Ain't no damn good. You started showing results in the second month? Oh, you hate me second that it... Hey, don't look at me, look at Jeff Cavalier. Hashtag excuse life. I think you freaking gave them extra programs to do just so you could avoid going to the gym. But that's okay. That phase of your life is behind you, but I'm telling you, it's kind of like when a dad wants a son, but he gets a girl that's a tomboy. That you were my tomboy. You freaking damn stuck it out. Neither one of them is acceptable excuse. Two other guys were supposed to come as well, but they bailed on me last minute. Having Brandon, Andrew, and Nick should have been enough. After all, I just need to sweat. You're not getting any better the week before a fight. You just have to move your body so you just have to move so your body doesn't leave its optimal cycle. But you shouldn't be pushing yourself. But for some reason, the stress of the fight has me out of sorts. To make matters worse, Brandon gets hurt right before he comes out. He's not going to be able to move with me. Now it's just to Nick and Andy. I'm more aggravated than ever. Doesn't anyone care that this is my title fight? This is my chance to get to the next level. The first couple of days of preparation are fine. We mostly do grappling and pad work. Andy is his usual stud self, but I can see he is getting a little annoyed with me. Deep down, I know it's not fair because he cannot go all out, but I feel I need to push hard. I need to be at championship level. I'd expect the same from him. Nick gives me everything he has, and I am no less forgiving than I am to Andy, even though Nick is not a professional fighter. I know that's fucked up, but again, this is my title shot. Standing, he is solid because he's very hard to move and his judo style somewhat mimics Jakare's. But once I get him to the ground, I murder him. For any other fight, I'd be rolling with both of these guys, but for this one, I feel the need to punish. I know Nick and Andy are miserable, and they both stay quiet and grind through it. Well, I am a training enthusiast. I'm not going to say I'm a professional because look at me. I clearly don't practice what I preach, but I'll say it this way. If you are willing to put in, since you're already suffering, but you're willing to put in the work and the effort, there's very few things that can't be accomplished once the mind overcomes the body's unwillingness to cooperate. I mean, there were days when I was moving on that arc trainer and my ankle would go out and my back would go out and I would still just push and push as hard as I could. And I don't know where this drive, I would usually just reference, I would refer to it as my self-loathing. And maybe I'm in a better place mentally. Seriously, doubt it because I don't work on myself. But that sucks, bro. I feel you. I feel you on every single level. It doesn't. My chronic pain doesn't affect all aspects. Well, it affects all aspects of my life, but it doesn't affect my full body. It's mostly my back, and then I've got other injuries from the past that I didn't know I had until I started working out. But that's shoulders, biceps, and so on and so forth. We've got issues with grip, and you know, there's a lot of things wrong with me, but I drive through it when I am working out. And Lord knows it'd probably be much harder for you, but it's a question of what you want and how bad do you want it. And it's like I would be bitching and moaning about my life and my financial situation, and my dad's high school buddy, may he rest in peace, he would be like, well, what have you done to achieve these goals? And he wasn't talking about physical, but like financial. You know, I'd complain about the kids from Eastlake driving around classic cars that were cherry with matching numbers and shit. He's like, well, what have you done to achieve this vehicle? You know, how much money have you put into savings? And at the time, being young, dumb teenager and just angry at the world, I was like, fuck this guy. But now looking back, you know, it's just like, fuck, he's right. How much money have I put aside for my 57 Nomad cherried out with the fucking 454? You know, it's like, I didn't. It's all perspective, you know. It's just, right now, this is my hustle. You know, I'm trying real hard to fucking make it work, and I'm struggling to get 6-7 viewers, and it's just like, fuck, there's some days where I struggle to get 1 viewer, and it's just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Sweatshop workers for Nike in China make more money than I do streaming. This is not an exaggeration, because I guarantee you that these cats make more than about $300 a year. Guarantee. And I was doing the stream twice a day on the 11s, 11 a.m., 11 p.m., and it was killing me, mentally and physically, you know, just to fucking be up that early so I could start the stream and do the thing, and then take a nap midday. And it was consuming all aspects of my life, and I was doing it 7 days a fucking week. Now, I've cut down to 1 stream a day, and I do whatever the fuck I want, which is, lately it's just been Dead Cells or PUBG with friends, but I've technically freed myself up for the entire rest of the day, from the time I wake to the time I take my nap to do my evening stream and so on and so forth. But, you know, it's, what do I want? I mean, ideally, I'd like to follow the business model of Planet Fitness. I'd like to have much more people paying for membership, aka subscriber, than I would actual people chatting and viewing. Technically, I do have that achieved, but I'd like to do it on a much grander scale, you know? And I think that streaming, just like any other get-rich-quick scheme, NFTs, so on and so forth, I honestly think only a handful of people were selected to be that person, and everybody else has fallen wayward chasing that dragon. You know, maybe it's not quite like a heroin addiction, but you know, there's no love for it. There's no passion for the stream. There's no passion for anything at all. You know, and people are like, I hope you're happy. I'm like, I'm never happy, and you know, that's part of the stuff I struggle with on a regular basis, because I can never just let go and be in the fucking moment. You know what I'm saying? But Sirens, I'm not trying to poo-poo on your situation. I don't know how bad it feels to have the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. But what I do hope is, if you want to work on stuff, I'll be happy to help as best I can. I hope not to exacerbate anything, but you know, my guy who's basically I've modeled most of my workouts on is Jeff Cavalier, aka AthleanX on YouTube. And so anything I would have to tell you other than personal anecdotal, you know, experience, I'd say refer to that guy for anything and everything. And obviously, nobody's happy with the way they are. Bodybuilders want to be bigger and more cut and so on and so forth. Marathon runners want to be able to run faster and longer and so on and so... Well, actually, they want to be faster. And you know, but who wants to look like they just escaped from a damn concentration camp? Nobody aspires to look like a fucking marathon runner. Nobody. Even marathon runners wish they were bigger. They know they can't be because, you know, more weight to carry, and that means less endurance and so on and so forth. But you know, I personally, I don't think anybody's frame can handle it, but I think I'd be most happy at 240 with about 10% body fat, because that's maintainable without, you know, being insane about eating and so on and so forth. But ideally, for a longer life, it should be more like 185 with about 12% body fat. But in order for me to reach 185, I'd have to cut both my legs up past midway on the thigh. You know, it's just like, that's just never going to happen. So I have to look at life in the eye and accept mortality for what it is. I'll be lucky to see another 2 decades. Lucky. But then again, I wasn't expecting to see 4, so here we are. And I'm not living my best life, but I'm trying my best to live my life. Unfortunately, I like food and sweets, so you know, my original addictions, self-soothing and so on and so forth, is the high fatty foods and high sugar and high carbohydrate foods. Sigh. You know what? I may be able to quit nicotine and everything else, quit nicotine and caffeine, but for God's sake, man, fucking food is awesome. Even if it's terrible food and I feel bad the second I take the first fucking bite, the idea of, ooh, something melty, something cheesy, something beefy or steaky. Fatty. Oh my God, you set me up for a fucking joke. I'd eat your oatmeal cream pie. Like, I drink your milkshake. Fucking, there will be blood. Great fucking movie. But anyways, one more note on the people quitting, because that's what I've been trying to get at. With the exception of Brittany and one other person who shall not be mentioned, no, TV. Those two worked out with me for a year, and both showed great promise, and both had amazing results. And I don't know how they ate on their free time. Yeah, cream pie sounds nice. Cream pie. Honestly, I don't think I've cream pied anybody in the better part of a decade. Oh, sorry, that's a different cream pie. Sorry. Pull-out game's been on point, son. Except for this one time I was really fucking drunk and she told me to do it. I don't even remember. She had to fucking recall the night for me. It's okay. That's like 2 X's ago. I ain't even worried about it. Never getting to the fucking point. You got me distracted with fucking cream pies. This one dude, I forget his name. Oh, no. I do remember. His nickname was Cross. Big, country fried redneck boy. I looked at him in the locker room. He's probably about 6'4", 6'5", probably about 270. He wasn't like aesthetically, but he was just a big guy, right? You know, just he was more pear-shaped than he was, you know, that classic V cup. But you know, I was looking at his ink. I was like, that looks like prison ink to me. He's like, yeah, I just got out. He'd been out for a couple months from however long a sentence he had, and he asked if he could work out with me. I'm like, you can, but I'm all about form and so on and so forth. But, you know. Anyways, he tried to match me pound for pound, and on some of the exercises, he tried to do more weight than me. I mean, it's great if you're on a prison yard time and you only have an hour of outside time and blah, 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 but I could tell that this guy was dying. He ended up dropping weight on a lot of the exercises because everything I did was for each particular thing was 3 sets of 10, but, you know, you should be struggling to get those last 1 or 2 reps out. And this is a routine I'd been doing for a year plus at this point. And everything he tried to do and match me or do more, less weight, more reps. For what? You ain't never going to make progress like that. Once again, it also depends on what your goals are. Less weight, more reps. Fuck out of here. 3 sets of 10 is, I think, the accepted idea. Realistically, you should be on failure at rep 8. But, you know, 3 sets of 8. But once again, it's what's your goal? Are you trying to be stronger? Or are you trying to, you know, be more aesthetically pleasing? It's like, what you got. And if you want to just get stronger, we're talking about max times 3. Not in 1 set, but you do 1 rep at your max weight and take a break about 5 to 15 minutes and then do it again. And then cut down to 75% and then do it again. Once again, with a 10 to 15 minute break in between. What's your goal? Are you trying to be world's strongest man? Or are you just trying to be in the next Marvel movie with a topless fucking scene? And I can guarantee you most people would rather go for the Marvel aesthetic than be world's strongest man, because then you gotta be a half Thor or an Eddie. And they're built like a swollen turd. Well, at least they were at the time. I mean, I'm not going to get you guys ready for a fucking Arnold Classic or anything unless you're willing to put in the extra consumption and juice. Nah. Oh shit, that tastes like whiskey. Creekwater whiskey. Who is it? You? Who's me? Oh.
that project gonna be? Hey, Beanie!
What the hell you want?
I gotta pee. What's that project gonna be? What's this project gonna be?
One pizza.
One pizza?
Not pizza. Peace.
Pizza. Hey, Beanie, and whoever else, I gotta pee. And I tried for almost a year, and Meemaw Ivy shut the gym down. So
Don't fucking blame me, Ma. I gave you all the tools you needed. You chose not to fucking keep up with
in
it.
that garage, just sitting on the floor.
I've already been over this for the past fucking hour. You and who are the same size? You and Lizzo? That's crazy talk. Well, she said cherry! So anyways, this big dude, fresh out of prison, from my take and perspective, tried to keep up with me. He tried to either match my weight or one-up me by 5 to 10 pounds with the weights we were working with. What day was it? It was arm day. I've never seen him again or since. As a matter of fact, he might still be on my fucking damn contacts list, because I did take down his phone number. Nah, I probably deleted him, but shit, Shannon, may he rest in peace. You know, he was in my phone contacts list for a while too. And that guy used to work out on a regular basis, but I'm not sure what got him, but he's no longer with us. Anyways, this big fella Cross, never saw him again. So, big ups to Brittany and TV for sticking with me for about a year. But at the same time, I lost everybody that used to work out with me, and I used that as an excuse not to work out myself. But whenever somebody started working out with me, I told them I'm here for me first and foremost. So I'm going to get my workout in whether you quit on me or not. And I wish I would have stuck with that mentality, but unfortunately I didn't.
The bowl of mags on the back of the toilet's very, what was your maid?
Why'd you go to the back bathroom? The fuck is wrong with you?
I did go to the back bathroom.
Why'd you go to the back bathroom?
Because the front one?
That's the master bathroom. You don't get to go to the master bathroom. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Construction still, isn't it?
The toilet works fine. I just fucking fixed it.
Well, maybe I didn't want to hear everybody hear me peeing. Oh, I didn't want everybody to hear me peeing on stream. I don't know.
Well, you better close the fucking door then, huh?
Anyways.
God
I
damn.
tried to clean something.
That's why we can't have nice fucking things, people.
What was her name?
Whose name?
I keep wanting to say Lolita, but it's not. What did you call her?
Who the fuck is Lolita?
The one that used to clean sometimes. Ogre's friend. That put everything in bowls.
No, I didn't call her. I called her Lupita.
Lupe.
Lupe. That's Angela.
Yeah.
She's living in. I think she's living in Auburn.
I'm just saying the bowls of stuff is very much like her.
Yeah, she would just put shit in random containers and just label it. But she spent 2 days on the place, fucking damn organizing and putting shit away, and I couldn't keep up with it. And there was stuff I was supposed to go through, and I think the closest I've come to doing anything with any of that shit is giving the plushies to the old building manager's grandson or whatever. Auburn, Washington. No, in Auburn, Alabama. I didn't even know there was an Auburn in Washington. Is there an Auburn in Washington?
There's Auburns and Greenvilles.
What the hell are you doing here?
I came to use your indoor plumbing.
Mexican restaurant had indoor plumbing?
They shut down.
You get fucking lost?
You didn't answer your phone.
Yeah, because I'm fucking streaming right now.
I see. You're talking shit about people.
Who am I talking shit about?
Old girl and me are like the same size. She's just taller.
You and Lizzo are not the same size.
Kayla!
I ain't talking about Kayla.
The
Because she was playing a fucking flute and it popped up in the goddamn gifts, and I was just like, fuck it, send this.
Like Tennessee
You
Fat.
read way too much out of that.
Because you called her Tennessee Fat Friend. Well, are you reading or are you just bantering today?
Well, I was trying to read, and then somebody's knocking at the fucking door, and I was telling a little side story about people training with me and quitting. So guys, starting probably next week, because I don't think I'm going to be able to start it tomorrow, but Wednesdays are going to be Bob Ross Wednesdays, and I'm not going to teach you how to paint a landscape. I'm just going to be painting by numbers, finishing up my paintings for my one-piece master bedroom.
Have you started that? Is this all that, or do you have anything else you started?
I haven't started shit else.
So you're gonna like draw it out and then paint it?
Mm-hmm. That's what it says, paint by numbers.
Has Jennifer done the other stuff?
Jennifer apparently is in Pennsylvania right now. I don't know how I'm going to set it up, but basically I'm going to be painting the Monster Trio along with the 4 Yonko as prior to the episode 1000 story arc. So it's going to be Whitebeard, Big Mom. I refuse to fucking paint Blackbeard as one of the 4 fucking Yonko, but you know what I'm saying. For any of you who are fans of One Piece, man, you just try to be a distraction. You struggling? You better not be drinking and driving.
I was just gonna taste it. You bought the whole fucking bottle and I never tasted any of it. If I did, I was probably too drunk to remember.
My Jesus. Anyway, so as I was saying...
You love me, shut up.
No, nobody loves you. Not even your children. So anyways, as I was saying, I'm a huge fan of One Piece, and my master bedroom is going to be decked out not only with paintings, but with... I originally was going to paint them on the wall, but I want to have my full setup for the painting. So basically what I'm going to do
that's really good.
What I'm going to do is put them on... put the paintings that I was going to originally do on the wall and put them on canvases. And today just happened to be that day where I was over at Hobby Lobby and they had 50% off on easels and canvases. So I bought 3 canvases and an easel for
A lot of money, I'm sure.
about $130, which would have cost me about $260 any other day. So,
And a dinosaur.
look, this isn't fucking audience participation day.
It's a dinosaur.
So unless you can stay quiet, you're gonna have to fuck off.
It's a dinosaur. You don't have this one?
Did you hear me? Apparently she missed the fucking mark where I said it's gonna be either quiet time or get the fuck out.
I'm going.
I'm not trying to be fucking mean, but you're kind of deserving it right now.
I did bring Clockwork Orange back. I couldn't remember it. Wasn't sure if I brought it back.
Once again, she's not great. Get the fuck out!
Yes, sir!
God damn, shit!
Bye, Beanie!
Come over here all uninvited and shit and then fucking hijack the fucking stream. Who the fuck do you think you are? You're not this chatty in the goddamn comment
I
section.
can't get it to comment. I don't have the app. I tried, but it wouldn't work.
Why are you still here?
I'm going.
Oh my god, you're still here.
Do you need that steamer still? I don't fucking need it.
You know what?
Like, I'll use it one day.
I'm gonna take a quick break, about 5-10 minutes.
He's gonna come yell at me.
This fucking brat. Yeah, I'm gonna go fucking yell at her. Be right back, guys.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm not.
Here I come. Haha.
Hey! Now listen here, mister. I don't mean no trouble.
Go back into your own console.
But sir, I doesn't even have my own console. We're multi-platform now.
Knuckles?
It must be a Mario. He take racing too seriously.
He takes everything too seriously.
You motherfuckers invite non-Nintendo characters onto my track?
Oh, this is moderation!
Holy shit! He's killing all the non-Nintendo racers!
What is he? Some kind of racist?
You're not Nintendo! You're Pretendo! You're all race traitors! Oh my god! Ah! I'm fucking going to my head! Ah! 23 years of jumping of barrels. 23 fucking years! Oh god! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Luigi!
Coming for you, nigga.
Wait, Mario, think of our history.
So, you like it to go fast, huh?
All right, I caught it. Now it's mine and I can force it to do whatever I want.
Mario, stop! We're brothers! I have no brother.
Mario!
Oh shit, it's Kratos! Fuck you, Kratos! You PlayStation characters never learn! Suck my mushroom tip, you fucking son of a pig! Oh, hey Mario! Flash kids.
I'm sorry, boy. Oh, come on. Don't do the dance. Don't make this harder than it has to be.
Man, I just love noodles.
Not as much as me, dude. Not as much as me.
Oh yeah? I bet I love them even more.
Okay then, how much do you love noodles?
This much. And I will always love noodles. Yeah, I'll always love noodles. Yeah, I'll always love you. So how much do you love noodles? Oh my god!
Do you see Banana Man hopping over on the white hot sand? Here he come with some for me, freshly taken from banana tree. Banana Man, me want a done. Give me double and a bonus one. Give me more for all me friends. This banana flow will never end. Do you want a banana? Peel it down and go Do you want a banana? This banana for you. Tonight we dance around the flame, then we get to play the spirit game. Spirit names we shout out loud, shake the thunder from the spirit cloud. All the songbirds in the tree chant a tune to let the spirits free. Then we see them in the night, spirits jumping by the firelight. Do you want the banana? Feel it.
I can't believe you made it this long. Good night, Beanie. Thanks for adding and not taking away from the stream. So basically what I was trying to say is, out of all the hangers on and hangers out that did want to prove themselves, only 2 made it for a year, and nobody else since. I lost my motivation, and it had nothing. I can blame everybody else all I want. It really is on me. So play this. I'm more aggravated than ever. Doesn't anyone care this is my title fight? This is my chance to get to the next level. Ugh. The first couple of days of preparation are fine. We mostly do grappling and pad work. Andy is his usual stud self, but I can see he's getting a little annoyed with me. Deep down I know it's not fair, because he cannot go all out, but I feel the need to push hard. I need to be at championship level. I'd expect the same from him. Nick gives me everything he has, and I am no less forgiving than I am to Andy, even though Nick is not a professional fighter. I know that's fucked up, but again, this is my title shot. Standing, he is solid, but because he's very hard to move and his judo style somewhat mimics Jakare's, but once I get him to the ground, I murder him. For any other fight, I'd be flow rolling with both of these guys, but for this one I feel the need to punish. I know Nick and Andy are miserable, but they both stay quiet and grind through it. The Thursday before the fight, I have to do some real striking drills. My plan with Jakare is to do a lot of clinch work, push him into the cage, and knee the shit out of him. We're going to alternate grappling and striking rounds. Andy will be my grappling rounds, and Nick will be my striking rounds. Nick puts on a belly pad so I can work my knees. They both look a little tired of my shit, but they don't complain. Brandon speaks up. Tim, we're going 50% with this. Do you hear me? 50%. I got it. Andy's up first. We work clinch stuff, and I take him down over and over again. Slow it down, Kennedy, comes Brandon's raspy voice. I'm going slow? At the end of the round, I look at Andrew, and there's a scrape over his eye. Nick's up next. We fight for head position, and I move from the basic over and under clinch to a tie plum clinch, rocketing knees into his gut and ribs every time the opportunity presents itself. I feel his strength weakening as I land more and more, and for some reason this pisses me off and I get more aggressive with them. By the time we got done with 3 rounds of both, Andrew says, "Good job, Tim," and walks off. Nick slumps down on the side of the mat with his hands on his head. I hear him say to Brandon, "Bro, I am a pussy because those knees hurt so much that I was wincing before they even hit by the end. And that's only 50%. Fuck." Brandon replies in his slightly southern twang, "Bro, that weren't no 50%. That's more like 110%. Go get a shower." Nick nods. I head off to my room. The rest of the day is crazy. There's a press conference, there's workout for the fans, where I wear my pink gloves that I bought to match my pink belt. The whole time I just keep picturing what it's going to be like to be the Strikeforce champion. Unlike the past where I had to cut from my healthy army weight to my fight weight in a week or two, this time I was able to use a nutritionist to do it slowly over 6 weeks. So I only have to squeeze out the last 10 pounds, which for a fighter is very easy. Nick, Brandon, and I knock that out in the sauna, then we head out to the weigh-ins. For other events, I've just been one of the fighters. For this one, I'm on the poster. There is no hiding. I'm everywhere. On the wall, on the billboards, on the promo, constantly running in the arena while the fight fans wait for us to get on the scale. And there's an energy that I cannot help but get caught up in. The air is electric. There are tons of people waiting for us to watch us weigh in. I'm bouncing around backstage even though I am tired and hungry. I run up and say hello to Daniel Cormier. It's my second Strikeforce card with him on it, and he's fun to talk to. Mostly though, I'm just trying to pass the time. We get to the 2-minute warning, and the Strikeforce staff start calling names to line us up in fight order so we come out the right way. We're allowed one corner to come with us. Nick waits in the line with me. He's carrying a small bag with him that has Pedialyte, water, watermelon, and plain bagels. I did not ask him to get this. He just made sure I had it after getting the breakdown from the nutritionist, KJ Nunes, and Jorge Gurgel are currently weighing in, and Jakari and I are up next. Suddenly, Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart comes on, and they announce Jakari, then me. The crowd is all kinds of fired up. Jakari and I bow to each other, no crazy antics. Then we smile and hug and walk off stage. Nick immediately gives me Pedialyte and water, followed by a ton of watermelon. I feel my body getting stronger instantly. We get back to the hotel, and there's food waiting for me. Pasta with chicken in it. No oil, no butter. Nick ordered it in advance, and Leo, my amazing Russian manager, picked it up and brought it to the room. When I start to eat, Nick sets up my IV, 2 bags of saline. He's been doing this for me for a while now, even before he cornered me. Every fighter does the same thing, but most people wing it and have no training, so the process of getting an IV from their team is a shit show. Nick learned the dumb army way. First from combat lifesaver training, then as an idiot lieutenant living in Germany, drunkenly giving himself or his buddies IVs after nights out, and finally when he realized this was something I needed, he got lessons from a bunch of nurses so he was sure he was safe. I'm antsy. I want to move tonight, Brandon, I tell him. You don't need to, he replies. You need to relax. Let's just do 5 easy rounds, same time as the fight is going to be. I need to move, I tell him strenuously. He looks at me and weighs the pros and cons of arguing versus letting me. Okay, we'll go easy, he finally says as he nods to Nick. Nick calls Andy and lets him know that I want to move, but he's out on a date. It's not his fault. I told him he wasn't needed tonight, and I'm still aggravated. Fine, I'll do 5 rounds with you, I say to Nick. Okay, Tim, he answers. 90 minutes, a pasta meal, and 2 IVs later, we are at a gym owned by Andy's friend. He let us in late, and we have the whole place to ourselves. Nick is not allowed to hit me, but I'm allowed to lightly make contact. The goal is to move around the cage. He's supposed to try to take me down or put me out into the cage, and I'm supposed to play my game. Put him into the cage, and then pepper him with knees and get him to the ground when he's softened up. I need you to go easy, man. This is just a sweat, Brandon reminds me. I nod. The bell rings. Nick moves in and immediately locks up with me. This is what I asked him to do. I asked him to try to throw me, as that's a big part of Jakari's game. He fakes a right throw and comes back left, off-balancing me for a second. I don't get thrown, but I see red. If Nick can do this, then Jakari can. I turn up the intensity. By the time the bell sounds for the 3rd round, Brandon gets in the cage with pads on. We're hitting pads this round, he says. But you're hurt, I bark through my mouthpiece, sending a muffled group of syllables at him. So is he says. I look at Nick. He ended the round desperately, holding on to a single leg that he was never going to finish. Brandon moves with me for 2 rounds. Nick gets back in for the 5th and gives me everything he has left, which isn't much after about 2 minutes. The final bell rings. Thanks, guys, I say to Brandon and Nick. Sorry I didn't have more for you, man, Nick replies. Fuck that, you're a better friend than I am, Leo chimes in with his thick Russian accent. It hurts me to watch you get hit. I don't say anything. We all shower up and go to dinner. Ginger joins us. It's a good meal and we have lots of fun. It's the first time I feel a little more low-key this entire time, but I still wish we could just fast forward to tomorrow and be done with it. Nick excuses himself from dinner for a few times and sticks to water the whole meal, which is odd for him. The night before a fight is usually when the corners let loose a little and have a few drinks. When he leaves the third time, I ask Brandon, was I that bad today? He replies, don't worry about it, you did what you needed to do. Is Nick okay, I ask? Brandon pauses for a minute. He's pissing blood, man. You beat the shit out of him the last 2 days, but he's fine. God damn. With friends like Timmy, am I right? Water. Funny in Gaelic, Visgay, or whiskey, it literally translates to the water of life. Anyways, 25 minutes of fighting against Jakari was intense as hell, but I feel great and could go 25 minutes more if needed. I asked Brandon, did we win? It's close, Tim, he replies. I'm doing the fight math in my head. He didn't take me down. I took him down a few times. What? Is this what that is? I don't have paid for spyware in my house. I mean, obviously I've got Google and all that shit, but... Is this Optimus? Or The Optimist by Skinless? I don't know. This is The Dark Lord's Allegro by Joe Stump. So my name's not Alexis, I'm not Christina. Maybe in a little bit. I'm doing the fight math in my head. He didn't take me down. I took him down a few times. The only shot that dropped anyone in this fight was mine. That's enough to win, right? Is my BP up? Probably. I don't fucking know. Still, his game plan was not what I expected. We all thought for sure that the most decorated grappler in MMA was going to try to take me down and grapple, but apparently he respected my game as much as I respected his. Instead, he came in with crisp boxing and counterpunching. He never hurt me, but he scored points where I didn't think he could. I did more damage, but this is a 10-point must system. Damage in 1 or 2 rounds isn't enough. Finally, Mauro Ranallo has the judges' scorecards. He announces that the judges have scored the contest 49-46, 48-47, and 48-47, all for Jakari Souza. My world drops out. Okay, so the rule of fight game, especially when you're the underdog, you gotta finish it by TKO, KO, or submission. You cannot leave it up to the judges' scorecards ever. But I'm sure you're gonna get to it, Tim. So let's carry on. You know how you've wanted something to happen so badly, to get the job, for the girl to like you, for you to cash the one break you need to make it through the month, and then not get it? My brain is racing to figure out a way to reverse time, to make an argument on my behalf to fix it, but there's nothing I can do. I lost. When I get backstage again, I rip my gloves off and hand wraps off, and I throw them away. Usually a fighter keeps these, auctions them off, or donates them to charity. I want nothing to do with them. I shower to put on a suit and go to the press conference. I'm absolutely miserable. I want a rematch, but I know that one isn't forthcoming. When I leave the press conference, Leo brings Ginger to the back. Nick walks over to her and hands her my check, which he must have picked up for me while I was sulking, along with a plastic bag that has my gloves and wraps in it. That asshole fished my shit out of the trash. I go to the after party even though I don't want to, because I have so many friends and family here, plus a host of troops who came all the way from Fort Hood to see me. They all tell me it was a great fight and that they thought I won, and that I'll come back stronger and all the cliche stuff that everyone says when they're trying to be nice. But I didn't want that. I wanted to fix this so I wouldn't be here ever again. When I did find him away from everyone else, I met Brandon. What did I do wrong, I asked him. You need a real camp, man, he answers quickly. It's not enough to run your own camp with good fighters around. You need an elite coach who is only thinking about you and how to make you better. AKA American Top Team, Jackson's, whoever. Pick one. I asked Nick the same thing. Bro, there's no camp on earth that I would have had me as your training partner for this fight. I'm honored and I will always do it. But you should be with Rashad Evans or George St. Pierre or John Fitch or some shit. Not a guy like me. You know this. I'm 100% with Brandon on this one. We want you to do the best you can do. I ask Leo. He agrees. Ginger is more abrupt. You're not allowed to lose anymore. I don't like it. So either win all the time or quit this dumb sport. She absolutely means it. She doesn't give two shits about MMA or me being famous. Looks like I need to find a real camp. Fuck. He needs to find a real fucking camp. Oh. Well, I'm going to finish off this mug and continue reading because we just had a break. It's not time for another break yet. Whew. That is some serious shit right there. Oh. Chapter 12. Prize Fighter. Jackson's MMA is rad. It's not crappy like SLO Boxing or Team ROC Fayetteville. Everything here is quality, taken care of, and extremely clean. It's just all old. Everything feels worn in. It makes me feel like what I imagined Mikey's gym was like in Rocky. Bags might look old, but champions have sweat on these bags. Are still sweating on these bags. These mats may have some color worn off their surface, but the best of the best have bled on them. Yet, there's something awesome about this place. I feel good here. Greg Jackson and Mike Winklejohn both have offices in the front of the building, and Julie Kedzie, Greg's assistant, has a desk there too. Oh no, we can't do this. I can't have Lars showing up underneath my fucking damn bed in the middle of the night, asking me for money. I need $5 million. Julie, a professional fighter who has fought everyone there is in women's MMA, is an MMA pioneer in every sense of the word, and she keeps Greg's life on track. Outside the offices, there's a little waiting area covered with piles of belts, medals, ribbons, swords. Basically shit that shows you won something in the fight world. It doesn't seem like this stuff is too important around here. Greg literally has a few UFC championship belts lying around in his office, the way most people have magazines and throw pillows. Greg is in some other state or country right now, cornering someone, so I'm kind of finding my own way. I traveled around before deciding to come here. It came down to here and AKA. Either one would be great for me. While I really like Bob Cook and Dave Carmillo, I like the idea of having John Fitch, Josh Koscheck, and Mike Swick around. All guys near my weight at the top of their game, I chose this place. There's just something about Greg Jackson. I trust him. I can tell he is smart in a different way than everyone else. He cannot argue with the results. And one cannot argue with the results. Greg currently has welterweight champion George St. Pierre and light heavyweight champion Rashad Evans in his stable. But that's not even close to the end of it. The fighters here are who's who of top contenders: John Jones, Carlos Condit, Cowboy Cerrone, Nate Marquardt, Damasio Page, Holly Holm, Phil Haas, Alistair Overeem, Lando Venata, Keith Jardine, and the list goes on. The craziest part is, anyone is welcome in the gym. Any dude off the street can just walk in and start training. But there's no mercy here either. The guys that do walk in don't come back after the first workout. Everyone in here is a straight killer. Before long, I noticed some tension whenever John Jones and Rashad Evans are in the room together. It's definitely a different feel than what they have said publicly about each other. Publicly, it's big brother and little brother. Privately, it is clear John Jones does not see himself as anyone's little brother, other than his actual NFL lineman brother, Arthur. Oh well, they'll work it out on the mats. This doesn't affect me. Oh, does it not? I work out with Rashad first, and it is fun. He is a prototypical power wrestler with really tight boxing. I love how he disguises his strikes and takedowns. It's hard to know which one is coming. I will work on that. On the ground he's tough, wrestling tough. However, I can blanket him and wear him down with my jiu-jitsu. We're very similar with some different strengths, and that's exciting. I feel our wrestling is about equal. He's a little slicker standing. I'm a little slicker on the ground. He's going to be a great partner with GSP at 170 pounds and him at 205 pounds. I'm already thinking I have the right partners to get that 185-pound strap. Then I work with John. Oh fuck, this is something different. John is fucking amazing. It's insane. I've been doing this for a very long time, but I've not felt this level of potential danger. It is not that he's necessarily more skilled than Rashad. It's that he has more tools and is as skilled. In MMA terms, he's still a baby. But he's long but packs a ton of muscle into a very light weight. He's powerful and he's fast. And he's just starting to learn. I give him great rounds and get the better of him on the mat, but I can already feel he is more dangerous than Rashad. If you ask me to pick one of them to fight for a title tomorrow, it is not John Jones. John Jones was a fucking monster. Still is. I wouldn't want to fight any of these guys, including the assistant lady person, Kedzie or whatever. Hey Sirens, thanks so much for tuning in. And you know what? Don't sweat the sub. I appreciate it. Do what you can when you can. I'm not worried about it. I'd like you to just be here. And if you can do that, I appreciate it. And if you can't, well, hopefully you at least tried. You have a good night, buddy. When you come to a new gym as a high-level pro, people are usually nice to you. They want you to feel welcome. They want to acquire you as a partner so they can learn what you know. They want to be part of the reason you like the gym. Rashad and John take that to a different level. They aren't just being nice to me. They wine and dine me, then pee on me to mark their territory. Jesus fuck. Rashad makes the first move. At the end of my first day of training, he takes me to a Korean barbecue place with his wrestling coach, Mike Van Arsdale. Oh my god, Korean barbecue sounds great. I could go for some bulgogi. They're good company. Rashad is a good, smart guy with a college education and a lot of drive. We talk about all of the things. He asks me about the military. We talk politics. Mostly, though, he tells me how it is Jackson's. He's taking on a mentoring role, and I take no offense. I absolutely believe he sees me as an asset rather than competition, and he wants to make sure I feel comfortable here. This part feels a lot like going to a Special Forces team. Maybe not first team as an 18 X-ray, but definitely second. He wants me to know how the unit works, what will piss people off, and what to watch out for. That last topic is where it is very unlike NSF team. Because according to Rashad, the first thing to watch out for is John Jones. He ain't wrong there. Rashad doesn't overtly say he's bad. In fact, I'm not even sure he dislikes him. It's more like John's talented, but he has a big ego and only looks out for number one, so be careful. Or he'd say something like, Jackson's like a family with a pain-in-the-ass stepbrother, and laughs. Again, nothing vicious. There is respect for John's skill, but it is clear that John's lack of acceptance of Rashad as a top dog is a problem for Rashad. I've heard teammates talk like this, certainly not mine. If Brandon was going to talk shit about me, it would be to me. If Spencer was going to complain about my attitude, he'd tell me. If I was being a dick to Andy Craig, he wasn't going to tell Dustin Poirier about it. He was going to tell me. And guys, if you truly are my friend, if I have done or said anything to ruffle your feathers, please tell me. Preferably one-on-one, but you know, I don't want to be that guy. Look, I'm getting older, and I understand that it's hard to make new friends. But look, if you're watching right now, you're my friend. Okay, I'd really appreciate you just being a straight shooter with me. Don't fucking pussyfoot around shit. I'm a grown ass man, and sometimes egos can be bruised, but that's a true friendship. Friendship isn't about saying yes, it's about saying no. And I just appreciate straight shooters versus people that want to just keep things copacetic. I hope you guys can know this and understand this about me. And I may not take things well initially, but I'm a big boy. I'll get over it. Pains! Middle child syndrome, you know? I just want everybody to love me. And then he proceeds to tell everyone they're a piece of shit and pushes them away from him. That's also me. I'm as much big brother as I am middle child. Go figure. I know that Greg and Mike want to coach both of these guys, but I can already tell that that's not how this will end. Rashad and I head to some water-soluble vitamins, and then we head home. Even though parts of the conversation were weird, I really like him. In the fight world, oftentimes the greater the fighter, the crazier the lifestyle, but Rashad has his shit together. He's exactly the kind of dude I want to be around. I don't know what it is, but I have always hated Rashad Evans because the fight that he won on The Ultimate Fighter, all he did was maintain control, but he never did any damage because at the time he was mostly a wrestler. It didn't bother me that he was a wrestler and didn't know what the fuck he was doing on the ground other than dominating top position, but what bothered me about him was his fucking attitude. He did, during The Ultimate Fighter, he was fighting somebody and he did a little fucking shoulder shimmy dance bullshit, and that was disrespectful as shit, and there's no room in the ring for that kind of attitude. And I guess it was just his attitude that really pissed me off. It wasn't the fact that he ended up winning that season of The Ultimate Fighter. I don't know if it was the first or second season. I think it was the first, but I just never liked Rashad Evans' penis. Meanwhile, my boy Jay, he was all about Rashad Evans, and we almost got into a couple fights over it. Yeah, I mean, you know, what's a little blood loss amongst friends? This is my black friend from South Carolina, and the funny thing is, he told me one time, he said, if you were black, you would scare me. I still don't know what he meant by that, but I kind of do. Apparently, since I'm half white, half Asian, it was only intimidating, not scary. Whatever I said or did, my demeanor or whatever, my attitude. We had a big falling out several years ago, but we kissed and made up, and you know, man, now y'all got me feeling nostalgic. I'm gonna have to call Jay up tomorrow. Like, hey brother! He got mad at me one time because on my phone I had him on my caller ID as Black Ass. It was a throwback to that one Dave Chappelle movie. What was it called? There's a scene where they're like, you need to put down your pants, and he pulled out, oh, Black Ass, it's you! What is that movie where it's just a bunch of stoners? Anyways, not the fucking point. He got offended because I had him in my caller ID as Black Ass, and, well, half-baked. Alright, thank you, Ryan. Yeah, he got offended because I had him on my caller ID as Black Ass, and I'm just like, You're black, and I'm pretty sure your ass is the same fucking color. I mean, he's not quite as dark as Wesley Snipes, but he's damn near close to it. He's one of the darker, and you know, I love that. I love that man to death, and I would kill for him. Absolutely. But apparently having him in my caller ID as Black Ass was tantamount to blasphemy. Wait a minute, how the fuck are we down to 3? Paige, are you still here? Everybody done fucking left. Alright, fuck it, whatever. Next day, I get some alone time with John at lunch. He tells me almost exactly the same thing. Rashad is a stud, and I respect him, but he's an old dog trying to stay on top. There's a new dog in town, and he has to see that. This is so weird. It's like they were dating, broke up, and are trying to build alliances. The whole thing is just super odd to me, but again, it's really none of my business or my problem. These two guys will figure it out. It's only fighting after all, not life or death. One thing I immediately noticed with Greg out of town, we are truly left to our own devices, at least to a lot of wasted time. I'm not okay with that. Our first class we have, some fighter I've never heard of, who is not an actual coach, who is not great at wrestling or jiu-jitsu, gets up and starts teaching wrist locks. You're not wrist locking anyone in MMA. We wear gloves and wraps, and it's just not happening. I think we have a total of 2 in the UFC's history. I'm sure as shit not putting both of my hands on some guy's arms while he punches me in the face as I try to bend his wrist through his straps. So I take over. I focus on transitions, starting with bad wrestling takedown attempts from an opponent into a wrestling chin strap, into various submissions or positional improvements for strikes. No one tells me to stop or complain, so I assume they're good with it. After class, I go into Greg's office and create a puzzle for the next 3 days. We're going to do wrestling class at these times and jiu-jitsu class at these times. I'm going to teach them all unless someone else wants to. No one else does. John and Rashad are cool with it, and actually both thank me for adding some structure. So when Greg Jackson and Mike Winklejohn return from wherever they were, they come back with this new running in their classes, and they kind of don't know what to do with me. Greg thanks me and apologizes for not being here when I arrived and sets a time to meet tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. for our first one-on-one session. Great! I'm going to get to learn from the master himself! I arrive at 8:45, I warm up, I stretch, I do drills. When Greg walks in at 9:35, he's surprised to see me. Tim, what are you doing? I'm equally surprised to his question as he is seeing me. You told me to be here at 9:30, Greg. He looks at me for a second and kind of cocks his head to the side. Mr. Kennedy, I don't know how to say this, but fighters are never on time. If I tell a fighter to be here at 9:30, he wanders in at 9:45. He bullshits until 10, and by 10:10, he's moving around a little, and by 10:20, we're starting. You're dealing with the fucking Green Beret, goddammit. I understand what he is talking about. I used to have some of that in me, not anymore. Mr. Jackson, if you tell me 9:30, I'm going to be here at 8:45. I'm going to warm up, stretch, and prepare myself mentally, spiritually, and physically for your instruction so that I do not waste 1 minute of your time or mine. Greg kind of laughs. Well, okay, let's get going. The Jackson-Winklejohn dynamic is interesting. They shouldn't work. Greg is a nerd, first and foremost, and I say that as a compliment. He's the guy who's read The Art of War and the Book of Five Rings over 100 times. Speaking of which, I do have Sun Tzu's The Art of War. I've not read a single fucking page of it. And who cares? I'm not a general. I'm not an officer. What do I need to know that shit for? That's just some cool thing for quotes for random budget gun movies. Penis. He's the Bill Belichick of fighting. He watches the tape. He looks for the patterns. He looks for the tells. He enjoys taking the strengths of his fighter and attacking the weakness or strengths of the other fighter. The strategy matters to him. He doesn't teach a fighter generally how to get better. He files the strategy down to a fine point to exploit a specific weakness. He wants you to execute a specific plan with specific timing with specific purpose. Winklejohn is a smart jock. He's a hard-as-nails, old-school kickboxer with a glass eye because one of his eyes got sliced by a toenail. Because of that, he always wears shooting glasses when he holds pads. He's blunt, uses few words, and has no time for weakness or complaining. Neither of them knows what to do with me. Fighters do fighter things. They drink, they womanize, they go to strip clubs, they buy expensive jewelry and cars, they waste money, they stay out late, they have orgies with ring girls, and almost get AIDS. Well, Tim, that sounds like you and your former life, but I used to be that fighter. Thank you. I'm a grown-up who happens to fight. When I have camp, I bring my family to Albuquerque. After training, I hang out with my wife. I go hiking on my day off. I explore museums and restaurants and parks. Because of this, my life stays easy and stress-free. My wife and I live off my army pay and her paycheck that we are saving I make from fighting and for my sponsors to invest in the stock market or in business. It's not as exciting and wild, but I feel a hell of a lot better than I did then. It's also safer. Albuquerque is a cesspool with limitless opportunities to get in trouble. The city is so bad that the television show Cops was permanently set up here for a while until the mayor kicked them out. It was just too easy to find drama. The fighters who get in the fastest trouble are the Eastern Bloc guys or the dudes from Muslim countries. They come here to fight and all of a sudden, they can get booze, drugs, and girls literally at the same place. Shit gets dark real fast. One of the saddest stories of squandered talent is Caro Parisian, the former WEC champion and absolute judo and MMA stud. He was prescribed painkillers for an injury and took a liking to them, and Albuquerque did the rest. Years later, he got clean and was able to return to the sport, but never again in the UFC or anywhere near his previous level. But none of the grossness touches me or Ginger, because we are boring. As a team, we do kooky things, though. A weird group of us all dressed differently will go and play frisbee football in the park. Cowboy as a cowboy, Lando as a hippie, Overeem in a tracksuit, Nick Jordan and Phil Haas in jeans and tees, and me in Ranger panties and a tank top. We look like a 70s rock band aggressively playing a sport that was never meant to be aggressive. That's as well as I got there. A month after I arrive, Rashad leaves. I'm really disappointed. He's a big reason I came here. He's a really cool guy with a good head on his shoulders. A phenomenal wrestler who hits like a freight train, and he was very good to me. I get along with everyone, but wrestlers have a certain personality that I tend to jibe with. Elite college wrestlers especially go through a forging process that makes their minds different. You don't see wrestlers making excuses like you see from jiu-jitsu guys. Wins and losses rest fully on their shoulders. I respect that attitude. Rashad has all of it and then some. Well, I don't know what Rashad you're talking about, but the one I knew and saw on TV was a cocky son of a bitch who shouldn't have won based on his performance in the ring and his attitude overall. But we're just basing it off a reality show that involved fighting. But he's also the champ and wants the recognition of being the champ and wants the gym to cater to him. That isn't Greg's way. I'd have no problem with that. I can train with the guy I'm eventually going to fight. Rashad cannot. Again, for me, it's just a sport. This is life or death for him. The situation is tough all around and it takes a toll on the camp. Rashad was a real leader and motivator around there. Assessing it as the new guy, I think Rashad and John were both treated equally, but Rashad had paid more dues, believed he had earned more loyalty, and wanted to be treated more equally than John. I already missed him as a partner and hope it doesn't change the place. Oh, I'm sorry, Tim, but that's not how life works. I'm hitting pads with Mike Winklejohn's protege, Brendan Gibson, while Nick Palmiciano and Julie Kedzie half watch and half shoot the shit off in the corner. when I'm interrupted by John Jones. He's holding a gym bag full of cash. The zipper is broken so I can see the stacks of $20 bills. Tim, I need you to watch this for me. No time to explain. Do I want to know, I ask? It's not what you think. I'm buying an exotic car in the parking lot down the street later. But right now, I have to take the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency test. He just stopped at my house and he's on his way here. I don't want him to see me with a bag of money. He might get the wrong idea. I'm actually relieved. No problem, man. Thanks, Tim, he says before stashing the bag under the cage and running off to drink water before the USADA guy shows up. Now, funny thing about John Jones, that dude has pissed hot more fucking times for PEDs than any other athlete I could name off the top of my head. He's been busted a lot of times, let's just put it that way. It's October 2013, and I've been at Jackson's a couple of years now with mostly good results. I fought Melvin Manoff, a striking assassin capable of knocking anyone out with one punch or kick, and beat him in the first round. Then I fought future UFC champion Robbie Lawler, another guy capable of knocking anyone out in one punch, who also happens to be a great wrestler, and had a barn burner with him. Robbie hit me with an uppercut that split my nose wide open and left me with a permanent scar. This was the hardest hit I've ever eaten, which is saying a lot. But I won, setting up another Strikeforce Championship fight, this time against AKA's Luke Rockhold. I lost the fight. God damn it, Tim. There was no fucking build-up to it. It was just there. I lost the fight. Shit! Alright. Second championship opportunity, second failure. But unlike the first one against Shikari, it wasn't a lack of training that cost me the win against Luke. It was a lack of risk-taking. I simply didn't engage enough with when my A game plan on to put him into the cage and take him down. Didn't work. It was the lowest percentage of takedowns I had ever had in a fight. Once it became a standing battle, instead of driving past his length and doing damage on the inside, I was content to stay outside where he had the advantage. I cannot even tell you why. The fight ended, and I didn't feel like I had fought. That one sticks with me. After the fight, I remember Greg telling Winklejohn, Cormier has made a big difference in their wrestling over there. We're going to have to adjust. It wasn't meant for my ears, but I heard it. Thanks a pant load, Cormier. That one stung. After that, I got back on the horse with a submission win over Trevor Smith. And then I got the best and worst news ever. The UFC bought Strikeforce. It was the best news because I could fight. Now I could fight anyone. The best guys in the world were either in the UFC or Strikeforce, and now we were all together. It was the worst news because I hated the UFC control mechanism. I know fans think the UFC is the best thing ever, but I don't. Their contracts are restrictive, they pay fighters less than Strikeforce, you cannot have your own sponsors, and they just generally are not nice. In fact, one of the first things they tried to do was reduce the number of tickets that I was allowed to have. My Strikeforce contract called for 10 free tickets, but UFC contracts only allowed 4. What a great way to start a relationship. Scott Coker, the Strikeforce president, is a gem of a man. He loves fighting and fighters. Dana White, the UFC president, is a hell of a businessman. He's a pit bull. I respect both of them for different reasons. They're both winners, but their approach to winning is different. Scott wants to put the best show on he can. He wants people to like fighting for him. Dana wants to dominate the market, destroy anyone in his path, and deliver the best return to his investors. A Scott Coker motivational speech is a lot like something you'd hear from a high school football coach or maybe a Rocky movie, with some nuggets of wisdom baked in. A Dana White motivational speech is like Alec Baldwin's scene in Glengarry Glen Ross, where he tells everyone to fuck or walk, and tells Jack Lemmon he can't have coffee because coffee is for losers, or for closers. It's close. Loser, closer. I learned the difference in motivational techniques firsthand in my very first UFC fight. I had already annoyed all of their matchmakers by the time the ink was dry on their deal, and my manager was trying to renegotiate my deal as my contract was coming up. It did not go particularly well. I was asked in an interview about fighter pay, and I said I'd make more money fighting as a trash man than fighting in the UFC. It was a throwaway comment, but it went viral. Naturally, Dana White wasn't super appreciative of this brand new fighter who hadn't even stepped into the UFC octagon yet, talking shit about the organization. You know, sometimes Pinus. Oh, damn, how long is this fucking chapter? 304? Yeah, I'm not doing another 14 pages. On that lovely note, does anybody have any burning questions or anything they'd like to talk about? Or else I'm going to wrap it up and have me something to eat. Because, burp. No? Nothing? I'll wait another second or so. Everybody on the left at this point. It's just you and me. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'm sorry that everybody had to leave so soon and suddenly. But, you know, if we don't have the audience here, then we're just gonna call it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll be on tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central. It'll probably be my last regular stream on Wednesday because we're going to make the Bob Ross transition, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time to get one of my canvases set up for paint for tomorrow. But I got myself a nice easel, a nice set of canvases, so if not this Wednesday, definitely next Wednesday, I will have my Booby Russi paintings a la One Piece. It's not going to be interesting, so I'm hoping you guys are willing to chat on those, because that'll be more of a, I'm doing a thing, and it's going to be very meticulous and painstaking, and it's going to be more about conversation than about me doing a thing. And I'm sorry you guys don't feel like chatting tonight, but oh well. Good night. I'm going to go make me something to eat. See you guys tomorrow at 9 Central.